The scream cut through the night like glass shattering. Ethan grabbed his daughter Lily's hand before she could run toward the alley. He whispered for her to stay behind him, though his heart pounded hard enough to feel like it echoed in the empty street. They had only stopped for discounted groceries after his long shift at the auto shop. But Lily's trembling voice changed everything. She looked up at him and said, "Daddy, please help her." That was all he needed to hear. That a young woman was trapped between two men, her purse on the ground, her knees scraped, her hands shaking as she tried to push them away. Fear radiated off her, but beneath it was something deeper, something Ethan recognized because he'd worn it himself once: exhaustion, the kind that comes from life beating you down too many times that he didn't think. He reacted that he slammed into the closer man with enough force to knock him off his feet. The second swung at him, but Ethan blocked the blow and threw him to the ground. His moves weren't polished, but they were fueled by purpose. The men scrambled away, cursing, but not brave enough to return. Ethan turned to the woman. He asked her if she was okay. She nodded with trembling breaths and whispered that she didn't know what would have happened if he hadn't shown up. That he gave her his jacket. She thanked him again and walked into the night before he could even ask her name. The next morning, while Ethan worked on a car at the garage, a sleek black SUV rolled up. Definitely not the type of vehicle anyone brought to this neighborhood. The driver got out first, scanning the area as though disappointed by the surroundings. Then the back door opened. The woman from last night stepped out, but she wasn't bruised and trembling now. She wore a tailored suit, her hair smooth and deliberate, her eyes sharp. She looked powerful. In control. Like someone the world listened to. She introduced herself as Claire Arden. The driver mentioned she was the CEO of Arden Dynamics, one of the biggest tech companies around. Ethan was stunned. CEOs didn't pull into shabby garages to thank random mechanics. She looked at him with the same softness she had shown Lily the night before. She said she came to thank him properly. She told him last night hadn't been the first time someone tried something like that. She'd been quietly dealing with an ex who refused to accept that their relationship was over. She admitted she had left a charity event early because she didn't feel safe. Then she looked at him and said she couldn't stop thinking about what might have happened if he hadn't been there. Ethan told her he didn't want money. She smiled and said she wasn't offering money. She asked him if the garage was his full-time job. When he nodded, she told him she'd been searching for someone exactly like him. Someone who worked hard, stayed calm under pressure, and didn't hesitate to help a vulnerable stranger. He said he was just a mechanic. She shook her head and told him he was a protector, and that was far harder to find. Then she explained she was opening a new operations division and needed trustworthy people. She offered part-time work with flexible hours and benefits for Lily. Ethan wasn't used to opportunities, or to people seeing something in him beyond oil stains and calloused hands. But when he looked at Lily's encouraging smile, he gave in. He told Claire he was willing to listen. Over the next few weeks, his life changed in ways he never expected. Claire visited the operations center often. She remembered everyone's names, asked questions, and always stopped to listen to Lily's stories. She carried herself with confidence, but Ethan noticed a tiredness behind her eyes. Slowly, she let him see more than the polished CEO exterior. She started calling him when she felt overwhelmed. He listened. She talked. And something gentle began forming between them, unspoken but undeniable. But trouble found her again. One evening, her ex cornered her in the company parking lot, furious and unpredictable. Security was on the way, but Ethan arrived first. He didn't have to fight. He simply stepped in front of her, calm and unmovable, and told the man he was done. Something in Ethan's voice made the man finally back down. Security took over, and Claire breathed in relief like she hadn't in months. Later that night, after everything settled, Ethan drove her home. Standing at her door, she admitted she used to think strength meant doing everything alone. Ethan didn't need to say anything. He knew that feeling too well. She told him Lily had said something earlier that stuck with her. She said Lily told her, "My daddy fixes things. He can fix hearts too." Ethan felt something shift inside him. Claire stepped closer and said she didn't know where any of this was heading, but she knew she didn't want to face life alone anymore. she rested her head gently against his shoulder, and he let himself breathe in a way he hadn't been able to in years. Hope settled quietly in the space between them. For the first time in a long while, Ethan felt like something brighter was finally finding its way into his life, and maybe, just maybe, it wasn't going anywhere.